deal for the whole overall process with us. You know, it was a, I guess maybe a culmination at this point of the whole deal. And I'd like to think that that we might have been better off in a one game here and a one game back in another kind of setting kind of thing, but having those three behind each other definitely was more than what I'd like to do again. And hopefully we won't, you know, I won't schedule something like that again because it was mostly my fault.
How about now on this end of it, looking back, as a team as a whole, I guess kind of caught their breath and they're ready to move on? And
well, you know, that's what we hope. We'll see this coming week, you know, just how far along we can come now, you know, that we've got that behind us. The big deal now is to get through this week successfully and then get back and get that open week kind of, you know, going in a way that we really get a chance to get our feet back under us that way. If we can get through this game, then I think that we got a chance to come home and really get ourselves kind of, you know, readjusted of sorts.
How about health-wise? How's the team holding up?
Pretty good. We've had a couple of injuries that, you know, that we've had some guys miss some games. We'll have a couple guys this week. Leonard Jameson looked like he's got a little bit of a deal, an internal deal that we might not necessarily get him back for a little while. He's our little wide receiver, kick return, some of that kind of stuff guy. Tyrell Goodman, one of our defensive linemen, got a little bit of an ankle deal. And we didn't play Collett, we didn't play Bishop Ford, a couple of our skilled offensive guys in this game, hoping that we could get them back to full speed for this coming week. Both those guys had ankle-style kinds of injuries, so you know, hopefully we can get most of those guys back. We'd already lost the Trey Samuels guy back early in the year. We think we might get Rod Perry back. Rod Perry was the young man who had the appendectomy 2-3 weeks ago now. So it's been kind of a usually kind of. We looked at our injury report this morning. We had a thing about 8 guys. Excuse me. We had about 8 or 9 guys on our injury report today. And that's kind of usual for this time of year. We look back at that same particular document for this past year, and actually the past 2 years. And 2 years ago we had 10 on it about the same time, and then last year we had 8. We think a lot of that's a tribute to our strength and conditioning guys. Those guys seem to be doing a good job of keeping our guys pretty healthy. That way, giving them strong enough that they can play the game and not have to be worried about having a lot of injuries.
how big of a challenge is it looking ahead, going straight into a conference game? I mean, it's not like a break.
No, it's not. Not in the least. It's not. FAMU is kind of similar to us. You know, they played at Miami, they played at Coastal, and then they stumped their toe a little bit this week with the Tuskegee game in Mobile, Alabama. Had a big crowd down in Mobile for one of those classic kind of deals. It got beaten a close football game against Tuskegee, but now Tuskegee is traditionally pretty good and plays pretty hard against the championship subdivision teams from that area, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, now Florida A&M. So they've now lost 3 in a row themselves. So they're 0-3 too. So this is an 0-3 game for both of us. The difference is that they'll be playing at home. So they do get a chance to get back home, whereas, you know, we got another 2 weeks before we play at home. But, you know, we got to make it like our home game. Hopefully we'll have a big crowd of South Carolina State folk in Tallahassee. And I think we will this coming Saturday because we need all the support we can get and need to feel as home as we can possibly feel.
It's pretty draining having all these away games here right at the first of the season.
It is,
Really
and you know, I think the good thing about it is we got a pretty good process on the road. So you know, as far as the actual hotel and being kind of sequestered of sorts, you know, away from all the activity, that kind of stuff is good. The bad thing about it is that we've had some pretty long bus rides. The Louisiana Tech bus ride in particular was one that was a little bit longer than I would have liked. But everything else, we went to Orlando. You know, that's not that big a deal. You know, we go out there about 6 hours. We do that with our eyes closed. We're going back to Tallahassee this week. That's just a little bit longer, but it's close enough that we can be, you know, in there and out pretty good. We get back Sunday, probably morning. This is a night game, about maybe 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and they can get in a regular routine that following week. So in most cases, the big problem is having 1 week intrude on the next week's process. You know, if we got, you know, a trip that gets us back midday Sunday, wait Sunday, then that means it's hard for us to get everything done for that following week, that Sunday. And the week starts for us that way, but we'll be okay.
Have you had a chance to look at any FAMU film or seen what they've been doing?
Yeah, I've seen a good bit of FAMU tape, and it's about what we expected from last year. Coach Alice Wood's staff is an experienced staff of guys who, have been through the wars a time or two themselves, and that team continuously improved last year as the season went on. It seemed to be a little bit better football team than they were last year, and they've got some personnel changes from last year. They're getting to be a little bit bigger, stronger football team than they were last year. So it'll be a tough game for us. And, both teams, I'm sure, will fight tooth and claw. They're both of us think now that this is a chance for us to get back into the I guess maybe scheme of things a little bit with the fact that you're getting into your conference that way. So it'll be a tough game, I guarantee you.
How much does that add to it with both teams so hungry for a win, and this could be a big conference win, start off 1-0 in the conference?
Yeah.
So.
You're gonna have your best shot here, and at the same time you're gonna get the other guy's best shot too. So I don't think there's a whole lot of doubt about the fact that we both understand that this is kind of a do or die kind of situation for both of us.
I guess the big thing is you want the offense to show up, kind of like it did at La Tech, even through all that stuff y'all went through with the timing.
You really need to be able to. I think you got to go on the road and play great defense. I think that's always the case if you're gonna have a chance to be successful. And the defense can keep you in games. But now we're at the point where we got to have our offense to show up too. We got to have a representative effort on that part. This will be a tough deal for us.
Do you have anything special to say to Ahmad Harris? Game last week?
No, I think you kind of know when you do one of those kind of deals that you don't necessarily need to add any more to it. I said something to it, but at the same time, it's one of those kind of deals that I think he knew that, that he messed up. We have instances, we've had 4 or 5 instances of situations where, we've seen it go both ways. We've seen officials who blow it dead, when that happens. And then I guess a couple of years ago when Wofford was playing in the playoffs out in the one of those dome deals when they were playing Northern Iowa, one of their guys did about the same exact thing, and they gave it to him the same way that they gave, this deal to Clemson this particular time. So I've seen it go both ways. And generally what happens is once you give yourself up, you give yourself up. As soon as you catch the ball, they see you're not going to go and blow it. He messed it up, and we got no reason to think that we were unfairly treated or anything like that. He just probably got to take a knee. That's face it, make a long story short. And I think he understands that.
If a player's going to learn something, you want to learn it in a non-conference game where you can get it straight for the conference game.
You like what we learn out there in practice. A lot easier. Learn in front of the whole world that way. But let me tell you what, there's a lot of people who know the name of Ahmad Harris how he played before. It ain't for a good reason too. I asked him, I said, so how many people in your family have you heard from in the last 24 hours? He said, pretty much everybody.
Coach, you think y'all boosted his confidence by putting him right back out there?
Well,
some coaches would have might have put him on the bench.
Well, the one thing I knew is that there was one guy that was less likely to make some other kind of silly mistake. It was probably him. This is a 5-year guy.
Yeah.
He graduated from UCLA in 3 of the peace years. He's a pretty good guy. He made a mistake. I think the fact that it was he was punished the way that he was punished by the fact that that we gave him the points and all that kind of stuff on television wasn't enough.
Yeah.
You might should have gone and talked to Ray about what Ray had done, dropping the ball before he got in the end zone.
And then you see the guy. Did you see the guy from Cal against Texas? What is it about these guys that they can't seem to figure it out? I don't know. Yeah. I think it's something about those style of guys that just kind of make them want to test the waters.